everyone who said that the Fever played better without Caitlin Clark, come to the front because I'm going to slap you in the face.
The storm that's been brewing in the WNBA for years is no longer on the horizon, it's here. And at the center of it stands Caitlin Clark, the league's newest and brightest star. She's barely in her second season, now finds herself cast in the middle of the most high-stakes labor crisis in WNBA history. This isn't just about basketball anymore. This is about power. It's about fairness. It's about survival. And in this moment of rising tensions, collapsing trust, and looming catastrophe, the rookie who electrified the nation is being asked to help hold the entire league together. The tension reached a boiling point when the WNBA and the WNBPA, the players' union, met face-to-face to negotiate the next collective bargaining agreement. The stakes couldn't be higher. The current CBA expires October 31st. If a new deal isn't struck,
Caitlin Clark said, folks, forget what she's talking about. Today, I'm going to run
the result won't just be a delay or a warning, it'll be a work stoppage, a full-scale strike or lockout, the kind of seismic disruption that could paralyze the league just as it begins to peak. The signs of collapse are already here. League officials opted out of the current CBA, signaling their unwillingness to accept the players' demands. Players, in turn, have drawn a line in the sand. They're not looking for tweaks or temporary wins. They want transformational change. They want charter flights, fair revenue sharing, increased salaries, protected rosters, and better conditions. And more than anything, they want to be treated like professionals building a billion-dollar brand, not just placeholders in someone else's business plan. But instead of meeting them halfway, the WNBA's counteroffer was, in the words of players who saw it firsthand, a slap in the face. A fixed salary cap.
That's what we're talking about when we are referring to Caitlin Clark running the show. Caitlin Clark running.
No guaranteed charter flights. Minimal raises that don't reflect the massive new media deals and soaring revenues. The league's answer to skyrocketing viewership: sold out arenas and $250 million expansion bids. A proposal that felt frozen in time. It's out of touch with today's reality. So when the players gathered in Indianapolis during All-Star Weekend for a historic in-person meeting, it wasn't a photo op. It was an emergency session. Over 40 players showed up, veterans, all-stars, union leaders, and then there was Caitlin Clark. She wasn't a team rep. She wasn't required to be there. She didn't.
So, Indiana Fever just released her, cut their losses, right? And I hear these analysts saying stuff like, they should have held out for a trade.
Didn't have a vote. But she showed up anyway. Because she knew that if this league is going to survive, her voice matters. When she walked into that room, something shifted. Caitlin Clark, the rookie who's brought more attention, more fans, and more money to the WNBA than anyone before her, made it clear she wasn't just here to cash checks and shoot threes. She was here to stand with the women who built this league. She was here to fight for the players who paved the way, the ones still trying to find their place. The meeting ran 45 minutes longer than planned. Emotions ran high. Players left, visibly shaken, frustrated, some even overwhelmed. Courtney Williams, a respected vet, stepped out and said she needed to get her energy back before she could even enjoy the rest of All-Star Weekend. That's how intense it was. Not because of arguments, but because the gap between what players need and what the league is offering remains painfully wide. What makes this moment even more dangerous is the timing. The WNBA is at its most visible, most profitable, and most culturally relevant moment ever. Ratings are up, ticket sales are booming, jerseys are selling out. Expansion teams are lining up with $250 million checks in hand. The league just secured a reported $2.2 billion media rights deal. And what changed all of that? One name, Caitlin Clark. Before Caitlin, WNBA games might draw 400,000 viewers on a good night. With Caitlin, those numbers have more than tripled. Her games are smashing viewership records. Her presence in arenas causes literal stampedes. Her jersey outsells everyone else's. Sponsors are lining up. media is locked in. Brands are building campaigns around her. Caitlin Clark isn't just the league's star, she is its economy, and yet the league still treats her and every other player as if nothing has changed. That's the irony. The very rookie who's responsible for this historic financial surge still earns a base salary of just over $76,000. Sure, Caitlin's endorsements with Nike, State Farm, and Gatorade make her a millionaire off the court. But inside the system, she's just as underpaid as the rest. And that's why her presence at these negotiations isn't just symbolic, it's essential, because Caitlin Clark isn't just showing up for herself, she's standing up for the entire league. For the veterans who built this game, for the young players grinding for roster spots, for the next generation of stars who deserve better than crumbs from billion-dollar deals. And she's doing it while being the most marketable player women's basketball has ever seen. Media insiders are even admitting it. Now, the WNBA is playing the Caitlin Clark card. They didn't want her leading negotiations, but now they need her, because she's the only one with enough leverage to force the league's hand. She is the Charizard in their deck the nuclear option, the superstar who moves the needle when everyone else's efforts stall. And here's the brutal truth. Without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA wouldn't be negotiating a record-setting media deal. Without Caitlin Clark, teams wouldn't be...
All right, everyone who said that the Fever play better without Caitlin Clark, come to the front because I'm going to slap you in the face. Fever just won 102-89 against the Dallas.
Be valued in the hundreds of millions. Without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA might still be fighting for scraps of media attention. She changed the game. Now she's being asked to save it, but there's only so much one player can do. The league can't just ride Caitlin's star power and expect everything else to fall into place. They need to invest in the foundation. That means every player, every flight, every team, every resource. If they don't, cost won't just be missed games. It'll be lost fans, lost momentum, and maybe, just maybe, the loss of Caitlin Clark herself. Because make no mistake, Caitlin has options. Overseas leagues would pay her more right now than the WNBA does in an entire season. International teams are already circling, willing to offer big contracts, charter travel, and first-class treatment. One season abroad, and she could double her income while preserving her health and energy. She doesn't need the WNBA. The WNBA needs her, and that's the nightmare scenario no one wants to speak out loud. What happens if Caitlin Clark decides this league isn't worth the fight? What happens if she walks away not out of spite, but out of exhaustion? She's already playing through injuries. She's already carrying the weight of the league. She disappears, even temporarily. The WNBA could collapse under its own short-sightedness, because she's not just a player. She's the face, the brand, the draw. The entire reason casual fans are tuning in, merch is flying off shelves, and media giants are paying attention. Yet here she is, sitting in a meeting with no vote, being asked to clean up a mess she didn't create. Fighting not for more endorsements or fame, but for better pay, safer conditions, and a league that values the women who make it great. Let's be real. The current model is broken. The league just finalized a billion-dollar media deal, but the players are still earning minor league pay. They're still flying commercial, risking their health, still stuck in outdated salary caps while the game explodes in popularity, still being told to wait while everyone else gets paid. That's not sustainable. That's not acceptable. The players' demands aren't excessive. They're fundamental. Revenue sharing tied to actual income, protected spots for development and rest, guaranteed charter travel to prevent injuries, flexible salary structures that allow stars to be compensated fairly. These are not radical ideas. They are minimum standards in every other major sports league, and that's the message Caitlin Clark is trying to send. Not with angry tweets or public outbursts, but with action. By showing up. By standing tall. By being in the room when it matters most. She's not interested in empty headlines. She's interested in real change. Because if the league doesn't evolve now, it might not survive the next wave. So, question isn't just whether players will strike. It's whether the league will wake up before it's too late. Will they recognize this moment for what it is, a once-in-a-generation opportunity to transform women's basketball? Or will they cling to outdated models until the whole thing falls apart? If you believe Caitlin Clark deserves better, if you believe these players deserve better, drop a 100% in the comments. Smash that like button. Share this video. Because this isn't just another contract dispute. This is history being written in real time. Caitlin Clark, like it or not, is at the center of it. Whether the league rises or falls may depend entirely on what happens next. Let's hope they choose right, because the clock is ticking.